Alright, we are recording, and it has been quite a while since I've been in Darksiders 2, almost a month I want to say. But seeing as how I finally finished Ghost Recon Breakpoint, so that review has been submitted, hopefully won't be too long before it gets out, I figured to get back into this, even though I do still have plenty of work to do. I'll talk about that after we get this going.
This
and then
has been the journey so far. A grand arena gilded by blood.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A giant slain.
This is the intro for quite a while.
But before the king will help our rider, he must have his dead court.
And I honestly don't remember that well where the hell I am. Oh yeah. Okay, I do remember. We got puzzle stuff. Alright, so, where the hell am I going? Yeah, I think I want to be. And is it? Yes. So what is it that, what work do I have now that I'm doing? Working on performance analyses. Which is going to take me a while. I think, yes. Yeah, isn't it nice they fight with me? I will lose that after I turn them in and get the like basic the just like death's ability where he makes clones of himself. Ow! What? Some health that way. But yeah, I'm doing the performance analysis a little differently than I normally do. Well, than I have previously, so the content won't be different, it's just how I'm collecting data. Because like previously I would do it all, I'd collect all the data and then do the writing. This time I'm doing it a little differently. I'm instead, that. Oh, son of a bitch, where'd you go? Why did you guys leave? That's not cool. Keep helping. But yeah, so I'm collecting the data one at a time and writing it up as I go. So that'll just make things a lot easier for me, and probably also better in the end, because it means that is still more. I won't have to be relying on notes in my long-term memory to figure out what to write for certain things. And I would consider that good. Also been making a few changes to the scripts. Hang on. I lost one of them, so let's reset them. That instead. But yeah, because for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, since I have both, well, there's both Vulkan and DirectX 11 for it, I need an override for whether or not it thinks that there's a multiple APIs to test or not.
Possible. I cannot.
Oh. Really hoping you just lied to me. Well, I can get over there. But yeah, currently my plan is to do Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Doom Eternal, and MechWarrior 5 Mercenary. Haven't gotten all the data for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries yet, but I have, leave them out. But I have done the quality analysis stuff, including looking at DLSS 2.0 in MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, and I admitted it in a, I said it in one of the, there's a thread on the forums asking about, basically, I'm on a Vega 56, should I have the money, should I just upgrade to an RTX 2080 Ti now, or wait and see? And the discussion turned to DLSS 2.0, and I did mention that when I was looking at it, I couldn't spot the difference at 1920 by 1080 on my television. I really couldn't. Which is very impressive to me because I hated it, DLSS in like Metro Exodus. It completely made the image worse. So to see that no longer be the case for this overhaul to the technology makes me glad to see. Anyway, what else have I got here besides talking about that stuff? So the main things I have written down: the Ryzen 3 and B550 announcements, and also the possibility. I wrote this up today because I'm recording this on Friday. Apple, this was a report from Bloomberg, which technically it's rumor. So it's not confirmed, but I do kind of remember that there have been rumblings that Apple may start using their own internal. I'm gonna hate this fight, I think. Okay. There we go. I'm just gonna buy 5 potions because I think there's a boss fight coming up in there. But for a while it had been suggested that Apple might decide to start using, because I don't remember what the company was that they purchased, but they did purchase a company in order to bring
I want you to have it, but wherever would you put it?
Because yeah, so I thought, oh yeah, that's right. He gives you more. He'll give you more than just money. Oh, cool.
Fair price.
And I keep like starting to sense them not being able to finish it. But the idea being that they may go to using their internally designed ARM CPUs for more than just the iPhone and iPad stuff, but also for potentially the MacBooks was what was specifically mentioned in this. I can't unlock that yet. What does this do? Yeah, sure, let's do that. So yeah, the idea is that Apple may decide to start using in the MacBooks an ARM-based processor akin to what you see in... Where am I going? faced me in one way, but I think the bird is right. No, well, yes, but no. There's that stone up there that I need to shoot, so... yeah, that could be very interesting if that ends up being what happens. For many reasons, not just the whole. Because the MacBooks, I want to say MacBooks are a consumer product. Basically, they don't target certain other things. But one thing to point out is you could see like the MacBooks and the iMacs on different processors, and ARM and x86 are not completely compatible with each other. As in, you could have software that would not want to run on one system but would run on another, or not run as well. So it is going to be interesting to see what comes of that. But it was funny because in the Bloomberg thing, it even talked about how, oh, you could see, more, higher core counts doing this. It's like, yeah, but an ARM core is not the same as an x86 core. So, yeah, you need to get a drink of water. I mean, because think about it, we've been able to have, I think you can get like a 96 core chip that's ARM cores, but the 64 core Threadripper and Epic CPUs are a big deal.
I hoped a champion would arise who could face the corruption, and you have come far, horseman. A pity that your journey ends here.
And I don't completely remember how this fight goes. Ow. Yeah, we do eventually end up facing him on the spider thing that we saw come in earlier. Man. Oh, son of a bitch. Is he able to block? I hate enemies that don't be like that. Where it's like, oh yeah, we just have a perfect block that you can't get through. It's like, why? Where's the justification for this? I also kind of feel like pointing out what the hell just happened then with the whole lock-on deciding, he's not in frame anymore, so we're not going to track him. It's like, how does this make sense? Kid. Have I complained recently about how hard this game can be at times? And I do think it is legitimate to point out that that guy is kind of overpowered. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate the whole enemies that have perfect blocks. It's like, why? What is the justification here when the player has nothing on that level? Nothing at all. What is it to... Now you show. Because it doesn't contribute anything when it's just oh yeah, you just shouldn't attack. It's like, it's an action game. What are you talking about? I just shouldn't attack. But it's... An enemy can have more health, can be faster, can have larger attacks than you, and yet, nah, they can just, avoid any and all damage from you. How's this a good idea? And I do want to talk some more about the Apple stuff, but I need to focus on this fight. There we go. Ow. So much of that damage was just because of the whole the thing just drops on me. And the camera works against you. The camera really does work against you. It is a horrible camera. I'm gonna hang out back here. Ow. last phase, hopefully I'll be able to make it. And if nothing else, at least can do There we go.
I will ride with you, horseman, even unto the Lord of Bones. Even unto judgment.
Alright. Satan's health from foes. Sounds good to me. No, there. That's what I... Wait. No, that's what... It is so weird. Damn, what is it that... So clearly armed. Okay, so it is this I have equipped, not this. Well, I guess it is a lot more damage. So, oh, actually, no, just safe side. So coming back to the Apple thing, the whole them potentially going to ARM, at least for MacBook. One thing that has occurred to me, I didn't put in the item, but did occur to me, and is worth talking about, is does this mean anything for Intel's future with Apple? Because it could just be that that Apple wants to be able to have its wants to be able to use its processors for more of its products to have, to have some unification there. Nothing wrong with that. But it's also, if this Intel and Apple have been partners long enough, and are important enough partners, that I could believe that Intel would have been like, I mean, we will get this stuff all sorted out here. We can show you what our designs are for like 2, 3, 4 years from now. Because a lot of the stuff would be in design right now. So they would be able to show something. So if this is a move by Apple to, in part, saying that we don't trust Intel, and that is, I'm not saying that is the case, I'm just saying if it is, that's significant. How do I get out of here? I might not be able to. I might need to port out. Might be best to just do that. It's like that would be a very big deal. Probably not the case. It's most likely that Apple just wants to be able to unify. Wants to be able to have their chips and more of this stuff, because that also makes it easier on them. Because even without a statement to their how much they may or may not trust Intel, it's it can still be beneficial for Apple to have more stuff under their roof. This also means that then, like, they put in the orders with TSMC and just get the additional chips as opposed to having to be reliant on Intel and it not always having
You're
enough.
wasting my time.
I don't know. A little weird. It said talk to Thane. It's like... I don't think that's who I need to talk to. I think I need to talk to the king.
My king, what would you have us do?
Suffer! Too long you have slumbered. Too long you have forsaken your duty. I have no more use for you.
What is this? I don't like being toyed with.
They failed me, but you have earned my gratitude. I will send you to one in my kingdom who knows the way to the Well of Souls. But first, there are demons that you must face.
I've already faced and killed many.
Not like these. There is great power bound in that amulet. But your shame stays its unlocking.
I regret nothing.
Oh, I can see beyond your flesh to where the true battle rages.
Horseman, what did you learn from the Lord of Bones? I suppose your king lives up to his name, if not his bargains. The dead king has granted you passage to the city of the dead. Who must I seek in the city of the dead? You should worry more about the one who seeks you. Answer my question, Scarecrow. There's no fun in simply telling you. Then speak no more. I'd keep watch on my own neck if I were you. What will I find in the city of the dead? Besides more corpses. Something far more precious than sinew and bone. Souls, Rider. From every kingdom under a dying sun. In the city, their past life is cleansed, that they may pass through the well and be reborn. Many souls do not survive this purification. Some are driven mad, and a few even manage to escape their bonds.
Okay. Oop. So it's not quite as useful as the other thing, as being able to have the three guys that just go and do stuff, but it still is very big. Alright, where am I going? Because you're not actually telling me. Oh, this is the City of the Dead. Okay. I thought that this was something else. Alright, that door looks locked. And something else I also mentioned in there, in the press release, it's in the news item concerning. Oh. I need to do this with the soul split because of that. Oop, let's do that. Is that one thing that is kind of interesting is Apple uses uses AMD for discrete GPUs, which is not an issue for the MacBooks. But I don't know if there might be some systems where I'm just curious about how you may have an impact with if it's ARM CPUs with AMD GPUs. because you may need special stuff set up for that. But that's only if they take the ARM CPUs they design to more than just Mac. Alright, but turning to the other stuff that I have to talk about, not some interesting game news this week. I didn't even note it, but I did write it up today. Like, Mars Horizon, a game that's, I don't remember the developer, but it's being published by Regular Corporation that did a PC gaming, no, PC building simulator. That's a game that I want to go back and do some more with it since it's exited early access, but I have other things to focus on first. Okay. Update to Dead Cells and such, but I mean, really the main ones are like what I mentioned before. 2 new Ryzen 3000 series, so Zen 2 based CPUs from AMD, the 3100 and 3300X, both of which are 4-core 8 threads.
I will take your head.
And let me see, the 3100 is, I want to say it's $100, while the 3300X is $120. Which seems very reasonable to me, but I'll admit I don't look at pricing for that low end of CPUs. But there are definitely people that's exactly where they go. I mean, my needs typically require more performance than that, so. But it is also like, it's easy to say that I have the most powerful computers in my family. Son of a bitch. At least it's only the one. But for like my parents, you know, a 4-core 8 thread like that would probably be plenty for them. My brother too. Probably the news that is most important to people would be that announcement of a B550, which are coming, I think it's June 16th. The 2 Ryzen processors are in May. But yeah, because B550 will be the, I mean, they're not going to be entry-level boards, but would be mid-range boards, so like around $100, but we'll have PCIe 4 somewhere. That I'm a little curious about. We'll find out more once support's out. Just part of the reason why, I mean, the X570 boards with PCIe 4 right now are they are higher quality boards than like X470 boards were, and definitely X370 boards. It's probably the reason why they cost more, but it's also, in order to achieve the signaling quality you need for PCIe 4, you can require additional layers to the PCB. So I do wonder if, and now true, things would have gotten better. There would have been improvements since. By the way, in case you're wondering, no, you cannot use the thing, the split souls in combat. So it does not work. They're meant for puzzle solving, not for fighting. And by the way, I was complaining about the perfect blocks before. This guy's different because it is clear and it's... Ow. Whereas that boss, it was like, nah, just sometimes I wasn't doing damage to him, and there's like no way around that. It's not just a question of waiting either necessarily. Now what spawns? Oh, it's done. There. And I actually want to go back because the potion, the green potion that was back here should still be here. Nope. That's annoying. Yeah, so I do kind of wonder if we might see interesting layouts. Like, I definitely believe the top slot and maybe an M.2 will be PCA 4, but I could also see it then being like subsequent slots are PCA 3. Don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. But hopefully you will see the solid VRM designs on there, because it's always annoying when it's like, hey, you got a motherboard, but it's built so badly that you can't take full advantage of the CPU on there. There. Alright. Where do I... Oh, right there. Nope. Keep doing that. One thing I'll also say I'm kind of curious about with the two new CPUs is just how will the desktop APUs perform. Because I would kind of think that they might outperform it. Not necessarily on the CPU, I think that they'd be competitive there. But the fact that you'll have the integrated GPU in those, they might prove a better deal for a lot of people. Like, I personally still do kind of like the idea of getting an 8-core, 16-thread APU and being able to set that thing up in like an ITX case with a capture card and basically have a very compact stream machine that is also capable of sorry, my mind temporarily shut off there while doing that. But is also capable of doing at least some gaming. Not necessarily, high quality gaming, but still an amount of gaming on it. Like that would be very neat to see. I'm just looking at it. else just... Yeah, I guess that was this week. Something I saw that made me pretty sad to see. That, the music for Doom Eternal was not mixed by the composer, at least not exclusive. He mixed some. I think it's a he. Anyway, the composer mixed some, but not all of it, which is why some people were looking at it and at the soundtrack and noticed that there's a lot of compressed, as in low dynamic range compressed, audio in a lot of that kind of compressed music, and it's like that's just sad to me, because it's like how right now I'm using studio headphones. Why am I using studio headphones? Because I want to have an experience close to what the person making the audio would have heard. So it's like I don't have them doing compression. I'm also just, how long have I been going? I can probably stop. Yeah, I'll probably stop soon. The game crashed on me, apparently. Hang on. Let me launch it so that I make sure that it has things in the right spot. Plus, I get a different intro message from Father. It's been a while, but I do still remember stuff. But yeah, it's just to do that to the audio. It just annoys me because I want to hear it correctly. I want to hear what was meant to be heard. So when it's like, no, it's been compressed. It's like, aw, why would you do this?
The king's need was exceeded by anger. Those who would help were destroyed. But from their deaths, a new power, drawn from sin, and an army that would live once more.
Where am I? Okay. I know why. Alright, same room. Okay. Yes, quit. Because I will be stopping so I can get back to some stuff like the performance analysis. I collected data on the desktop for 2 of the games, have 1 more to do. Oh yeah, I guess there's also this. Here, let me actually look at that. Apparently NVIDIA did... I saw this only just before I started recording, didn't think much of it. Apparently NVIDIA is going to have an online GTC on May 14th. And apparently in at least one spot they said get amped, which people are interpreting as meaning they'll announce Ampere. Which we'll see, because Ampere is expected to be the next GPU architecture from NVIDIA. So, in theory, it would be the one that'll go to 7nm and compete with AMD's RDNA 2. Yeah, get amped for latest platform breakthroughs in AI, deep learning, autonomous vehicles, robotics, and professional graphics. Which, how that is phrased there, and that also makes some sense. It makes it sound to me like Ampere will first come to the professional markets, not the consumer markets. So even if they were like, and next month stuff will be shipping, that could be stuff for data center, that could be stuff for autonomous vehicles, that could be the Quadro kind of cards or Tesla cards, not the GTX or RTX cards. We'll just have to see what comes of that. And one thing just occurred to me that will be interesting. So, AMD, I'm pretty sure, has stated for RDNA 2 that it's going to be a top-to-bottom product stack. Well, they might... I think that it's very possible they will have the hardware accelerated ray tracing through all of it then. Well, because they're not going to do a split generation like NVIDIA currently has with Turing, where some of the GPUs have what you need for ray tracing, some don't. Well, for accelerated ray tracing, ASIC accelerated ray tracing. I wonder if we will see with the RTX 2100 series or 3000 series, whatever they name it, will it actually be RTX or will they go back to GTX? Because that GTX is the brand identifier they've been using for how many years? And it made sense to have RTX as a way to differentiate that, oh, these have these extra special features, but if they do Ampere and it has in all of its, in the complete stack, ray tracing, then do they have to have it all be RTX, or will they continue to do the separation? Like, could there be a GTX 26 series, akin to the 16 series, that lacks the RT cores and such? That will be interesting to see what they will do, or if they may just abandon... Well, no, they can't abandon RTX because they're using that for internal branding, internal to game branding, their RTX effects. RTX ray tracing, RTX DLSS, and such. So, yeah, it is interesting that GTX may have died, to think about that, because it's... I'm just thinking, it was GTX 400 series, wasn't it? Yeah, it was GTX 200 series before that. There wasn't a 100 series, as I recall, but before that you had the, like the 8800 and 9800 GT and GTX, I think. So they've been using the GT and GTX for quite a while, but they may have to end up dropping that, ultimately. Huh. Interesting. Just something that crossed my mind just now. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what comes of that on, in the middle of May. I don't think I've ever seen any rumors suggesting anything other than a later this year launch. And also, it would make sense for Nvidia to do professional stuff first and then consumer, because if they are doing a node shift at the same time, that gives them time to figure out all of that stuff as well. Because like AMD has the advantage there because they... Let me see. Yeah, Radeon 7 was 7nm first. It was the first 7nm, then the 7nm CPUs, and Navi. So they did have stuff that would like go through 7nm so they could learn how it would work, how certain things would work out. Nvidia, yes, they would have internal stuff, but internal test things, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily know what it's like when consumers, well, their customers, not just consumers, but their customers, because there's also the professional level. They might want the professional level products first to figure out it going through, because also with that they can charge more and probably have a lot better warranty setup, because they may handle that directly as opposed to like going through MSI, Asus, etc., etc. Anyway, I can stop talking now, stop babbling, because that's, let's face it, that's supposed to do, is just babbling, and that way I can also get back to work on stuff. Okay, see you next time. Probably still be in Darksiders 2, because I don't want to leave it. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think it... I don't think anything is going to come up and push me out of it again. So yeah, see you next time.